breath of twilight caresses the air. The river mist hangs sweet and fair. The evening swallows, they whisper their tune, dancing on the moon. Why have the stars called us here? Sharon, hello. Happy Monday evening on Rocking the Valley YouTube. It is Martin Luther King Day, a man of peace, a man of wisdom, and it's a great day to remember all the great words of nonviolence he preached. We could sure use them all the time, so happy MLK Day. This is Songwriters Alive. I'm Tom Cooney. It's every Monday night at 7 p.m., as I said, on Rocking the Valley. Tonight, we're going to take a look back at last year. We have got in 13 or 14 episodes, and we'll be taking a peek at some of our different folks that we've had the pleasure to meet. We'll be taking a look at Steve Brodsky and Elizabeth Gillen and a few other folks too. And this rewind is going to be kind of fun, and we'll be able to listen to some great songs as well as a little bit of insight that these great guests have had about the songwriting process. And I'll throw in a few songs during the course of our evening, so you're not just watching video, and we'll try to keep them short. One I do want to talk about right now is a song I wrote for my dad, my late dad, and my late uncle, and about what they did in World War II. My dad trained the young men in small artillery in the Carolina summer heat, 1943. He choked up and prayed Godspeed the day the boys left town, and as the train pulled out he cried, "Take those fascists down." Uncle Don swam off the Higgins to the Iwo Jima sand, crawled face down through the jungle, a gun and prayer in his hands. He would never walk again, a sniper his spine had found, but until the day he died, he cried, "We took those fascists down." Now they're crawling out from under rocks, crying racial supremacy, building laws and walls and cages to keep people on their knees. And the mighty and the moneyed, well, they use them as their tools. And if we aren't woke to that, well, we sure as hell are through. Neo-Nazi or nationalist proud boy, the names they used to seek cred, but today as through all time, they must be put in their stead. There's more of us than them in every American town, so hit the street streets and the voting booths and take those fascists down. Take those fascists down. Take those fascists down. Take those fascists down. My dad and my uncle and cousins, they've all been Antifa for a long time. Very proud of them. Always a good thing to make sure fascists aren't bothering the U.S. Constitution. It's a good thing. We're starting off political tonight, but hey, that happens sometimes. What are you going to do? Hey, one of our first guests was Steve Brodsky. Speaking of folks who have, proudly served our country, he did 2 tours in Vietnam. And if you've ever talked to Steve Brodsky, he's got a lot of very wise things to say about that. Steve Brodsky has a lot of wise things to say about almost everything. A great songwriter, a great performer here in the Mid-Atlantic area, especially around Lehigh Valley where he's based. Just a guess. Steve was our second episode. And this is interesting, a little bit of stuff and a little bit of music from Steve Brodsky.
So, and when it comes to history, I don't know if a lot of people, know the history that like we grew up with as compared to what they're teaching today. But anyway, maybe that's a song in itself. What the hell are you teaching these kids?
I hope you're jotting these down. That's your second or third one so far.
Right. Yeah, give me a microphone and a guitar, and
there you go.
Well, should I sing another song, or what shall I do?
Sure, whatever you want to talk, or you want to keep the second round going with another tune. Your call.
This is a song I wrote for my wife. She goes right to sainthood after marrying me. When I wake up in the morning, I see a smiling face after stretching and yawning. Yeah, I know I'm in the right place. You're like a flower from the garden, kissed by sunshine. I know you are my darling, and you'll be to the end of time. 'Cause you mean the world to me. It's so easy to see that you are my everything. You mean the world to me. Maybe it was a candlelight, maybe the champagne. One world on a night, I know that you feel the same. And I'm gonna ride it up in the sky for all to see. I know you are my darling, and you'll be for eternity. 'Cause you mean the world to me. It's so easy to see that you are my everything. You mean the world to me. Yeah, I got your picture up on my wall. My telephone is waiting on your car. We're like two old singers from them beer halls, singing in harmony. Yeah, you mean the world to me. it's so easy to see that you are my everything. You mean the world to me. You mean the world to me. You mean the world to me. For my wife, Renata.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Well, she's taken care of me for a long time, you know.
Yeah.
I love telling the truth, you know.
Yeah, back to the truth again. Yeah. Yeah, love's a good thing. And as far as songwriting goes, it provides a lot of fodder for songwriting. All kinds of love.
They've been doing it for a long time.
She loves you. Yeah. Right there. That's Steve Brodsky. Just a wonderful, wonderful session with Steve Brodsky. Again, we like to support all the great artists here in the Mid-Atlantic states, especially in Greater Lehigh Valley and Eastern Pennsylvania. So make sure you look up Steve Brodsky, get his music, support him, stevebrodsky.com, Brosky. We're a big fan of Steve Brodsky's. Steve said something that show. Again, one thing we'll be doing in these 2 episodes is talking about smart things that all these great guests said. And Steve said something that it was the smartest and most economical, wise thing I've heard about songwriting.
But the truth writes its song. You know, the truth really writes its own song. And, you know, basing what your story is a true story. And I think that applies to music in so many different ways. If you can sing the truth, it writes its own song.
Just a great bit of insight, you know, to be honest and to speak your truth, and even if it's through a character or something that you're trying to do. So again, one of the things we try to do in Songwriters Live, when we get all these smart, great guests on, we try to have them share some of their great experiences and their great tips. I'm going to be queuing up another one here. Lisa Jeanette, folks. One of her incredibly lyrical songs, a very impressive writer. Her song, she did a holiday song with Vance Gilbert that she released at the end of November this past year, 2020. And a great, insightful, funny, humorous song called Mrs. Claus, about Santa's Mrs. Santa. And Vance Gilbert, the great folk singer songwriter, and had this comical part in the background where he was saying things that Santa was trying to deal with Mrs. Claus, and it wound up being the most played song on folk radio in the U.S. in December of 2020. So this is how good a songwriter this next person is, Lisa Jeanette. We were very pleased to have her on the show. Let's take a look at it.
All right, this is called Top of the Ferris Wheel. I'll talk about it after I play it. I'll play it first, but it's Top of the Ferris Wheel, and it is on the new album. I ran as fast as I could down to the storefront corner, peeking over the row homes, hoping to see the promise of the Ferris wheel, part of the sphere, winking back at me from the sky. I could see colors, the lights all aglow. Oh, how they twinkled at night. It's time for the carnival. Can I go? Hop a ride on the merry-go-round. Let's glide to the top of the Ferris wheel. I can see everything better from here. Didn't have much to hope for, never dreamed of diamonds or rubies. Came by the crazy, honestly, learned how to act sane from the movies. Oh, you should have seen me back then. I was drunk with desire, I wanted to be good at something, good to someone, prove them all to be liars. It's time for the carnival. Can I go hop a ride on the merry-go-round? Let's glide to the top of the Ferris wheel. I can see everything better from here. I sit on the bench in Cape May. October lies mute on the shore. The church is a junkie's playground. The connies don't stop there no more. Yes, it's a bit chilly in autumn, but I'm still seeking thrills and I have the right. No one should hold that against me. Everyone deserves to see pretty lights. It's time for the carnival. Can I go hop a ride on the merry-go-round? Let's glide to the top of the Ferris wheel. Doesn't matter how fast you go fast or slow as you might. All of life is a circle, catch as you can, don't hold on too tight. Just when you think you've gone forward, you might go backward again. Don't waste your time counting accomplishments if you can't count on your friends. It's time for the carnival. Can I go hop a ride on the merry-go-round? Let's glide to the top of the Ferris wheel. I can see everything better from here.
Well, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow. Great imagery of being at the carnival and going to the top of the Ferris wheel. And yeah, that is neat.
Thank you. I wrote that a year ago, and it was my husband and I have been making this like autumn trip to Cape May once a year. In the past couple of years we've done it where we go for like 5 days or something. And last year we went, and it was kind of cold, like mostly, but it was, you know, it varies this time of year there. But there was a homeless woman that was so, like, she stood out because, as you've probably been to Cape May, if you've been to Cape May, people that are watching, it's very pristine and very Victorian, and everything is very, there's a lot of wealth there. And to see her, to see a homeless person, just kind, and we only would see her at nighttime on the, where all the pretty lights are in the main drag there. Where the shopping is, and it's so pretty there with there's fountains and lights and trees and and shops, and she looked a lot like me, and it was one of those things where I was like, there but for the grace of God. And it made me think of like the way I grew up, because I grew up in Kensington in Philadelphia. It was not a lush life. And I thought, you know, if things had gone differently, and who knows, it's still possible with the way things are going. But, you know, to be found without a home and kind of be, you know, in that situation. And, I was thinking to myself, where's she going to go when it gets cold? She's like down at the beach now, and it's October. And when it's really cold, where's she going to go? And I just thought of like just the way I grew up. So that song is just kind of like a quilt of the way I grew up and understanding poverty, but also knowing that I've been very lucky. And she just wanted to sit there and look at the pretty lights. Like there's like just a really beautiful, Cape May is just so beautiful. And I was imagining, well, do people bother her? Do they make her leave? And, you know, and so that whole idea of what little joy she was trying to get out of life. And I did have the courage I didn't talk to her the first like 2 times, and the third time I talked to her and asked her how she was doing. And she was just sweet. She was like, and I just thought, my gosh, like she could be me. So I could be her. And then we came back from Cape May and unpacked the car, and I sat down at the piano and just wrote it all out, because it was just all there. You know, it's like just me thinking about her and how much alike we are.
That's amazing. Yeah. I've heard that phrase of yours in other songs in your lyrics, there but for the grace of God. I've heard a couple other places, yeah. And it's a great insight that for a person to have. There's a lot of luck involved in life sometimes too.
Yeah, yeah. I've been very lucky, and I feel very fortunate, and I'm lucky to be surrounded by people, really wonderful people too. So, even in the songwriting community, our songwriting community is just unbelievable.
They're very supportive.
Very supportive. I feel just like hugged every time we get together.
Yeah,
It's like,
it is amazing because as every other guest has said, it can be a lonely craft sometimes. You have to work through some difficult things and craft it in such a way that the rawness of what is being said isn't said too often. You know.
yeah, I'm so honored by Heidi and Rob Lincoln and Heidi. I'm gonna say Wolfson, but I don't. It's Heidi
Hoskins, yeah.
Hoskins. Thank you, Heidi Wolfson, Heidi Hoskins, and Christine Winchester Perry. They're just like, the fact that they've created this community is just really. I feel really lucky by it. It's just so supportive.
Wow. Had to let that play on after that song, Top of the Ferris Wheel by Lisa Jeanette, was done. What a great insight to where that song came from. Sometimes songs are light and frivolous and fun, and they're great. You get a pen out and you sketch them in a half an hour and you're done. And sometimes they're these things, someone you saw, someone you met, mixed in with some visuals that drew you back to how you grew up. And it turns into this big stew and you've got to work with and understand. And Lisa Jeanette is just an amazing songwriter. We're just so happy to have her on the show last year. Again, this is Songwriters Alive with Tom Cooney. We're on every Monday night, 7 o'clock on Rocking the Valley YouTube, and you'll see this on my Tom Cooney YouTube playlist for all of my Songwriters Alive episodes as well. The episode with Lisa Jeanette was just wonderful. We're doing next episode, excuse me. We're doing a quick look back at last year and looking at some of the wonderful songwriters that we had come on the show. We can listen to them a little bit and listen to their songs and listen to them talk about the craft. And it's a great way to give you a lot of variety for what's going on. Lisa's new album, by the way, should be out by March. Maybe April, but probably March. And it is going to be called Jellyfish on the Moon. And that's a song you've got to hear. That I promise you. What a great song. Just amazing. This song has a lot to do with last year. This was written, and I played it a lot last year. I wrote it in the end of 2018. But the song really found its home last year as all of the challenges that we've all been facing came crashing down hard last year. It's a song about trying to make the best of every day. It's called Empty Pages. Today, it's full of empty pages. Will it be lost or might it be one for the ages? Today, my soul might get its fill if I keep my heart open and my thoughts still. Today is full of empty pages. Well, today it's full of hope and fear for the things in my life that I hold dear. Well, I might defeat the anger, always crying out for more, if I starve that wolf howling at my door. Today it's full of hope and fear. Well, I see that you are tired like me, stunned, infuriated, living in this surreal tragedy. But we can beat the hate, the lies, the greed, if we stand together. Love might be our destiny. Empty Pages. Oh, a song about trying to make the best of each day. And there's so many challenging days that we have going on right now. It's just very, very hard to do. I like that song. I like playing that song. It's kind of a great reminder to really really just try to make the best of it. Be positive. To light a candle instead of cursing the darkness. We say that a lot on this show. Our next artist that I'm going to share with you again on our 2020 Rewind show, Best of 2020. This is Phyllis Chappell, who was one of our guests last year. And Phyllis was episode 8 of 2020. A wonderful songwriter and singer from Eastern Pennsylvania who plays and sings all kinds of music, world music and jazz and R&B. A wonderful singer-songwriter. And as you're going to see, a good guitarist.
I thought my first tune would be the most recent tune that I've written. And actually, for people who might be following me, it's gotten some play. I've put it up on Facebook, and it's been as a solo, a duo, and with my band. So people might have heard this before, but I did write this during the pandemic, and thinking that, you know, it might be a good time for all of us to dig deep and discover more about ourselves, about the people around us, about the world, the universe. But it's not enough to dig deep. We gotta dig deeper, because there's always more to the story. So here it goes. Dig deep, 'cause there's always something more. Dig deep, reach in and explore. Dig deep, and when you really think you're sure, dig deeper, dig deeper. You think you understand your moods and inclinations. You think you have a handle on all your expectations. Is your perspective skewed? Are your questions too few? Then I say to you, dig deep, 'cause there's always something more. Dig deep, find those hidden doors. Dig deep, and when you really think you're sure, dig deeper. Gotta dig deeper, yeah. Do you think they're telling you the honest to goodness truth? Do you think they're navigating the best possible route? Do they have your best interests at heart? Can you take their motives apart? I'm gonna tell you from the start. 'Cause there's always something more. Dig deep, right down to the core. Do you really comprehend? Do you have an explanation? Are we living in some kind of computer simulation? Do we know what's going on to build our lives upon? Or are we all just some pathetic little pawns? Can you say with any certainty that your will is free, that beyond the universe is empty? such a thing as destiny. If not, then you'll just have to agree. Dig deep. And after that, dig deep. Gonna say it again. Dig deep. Then after that, dig deep.
Was Dig Deeper, one of the songs she wrote at the beginning of the pandemic. What a good songwriter. And as you've noticed, what a intimate performer. Phyllis is a very experienced stage performer. She performs with a lot of trios and jazz ensembles like Ciora. And what I like about Phyllis, and I mentioned this during the episode, you'll have to see the episode, it's wonderful, is that she brings that performance, all of it, to the intimate nature of just a live music podcast. Very, very active, very fun, very positive performer. Again, Phyllis Chappell. As you could tell from her voice, she is one of the best jazz singers in the United States. The great Bob Perkins, the jazz DJ emeritus at WRTI at Temple University, has claimed her, one of the top vocalists he's heard in a long time. She's also been called one of the top female jazz vocalists, 500 female jazz vocalists of all time. Just another example of how lucky we were to get her on this show. Someone who has those jazz chops, yet still has that voice inside her. She needs to get out. She needs to write, needs to pick up that guitar. It is what a great response that was to being hunkered down in a very frustrating situation like the pandemic, where she decided to dig deeper to find things and wrote a song called Dig Deeper. We love being surprised like that, and we certainly hope that you love being surprised like that too. She is just a wonderful, wonderful artist. Make sure you catch her at phyllischappell.com. I'm teeing up another one here, and the next one is going to be, this is one of our earlier episodes, and this is challenging the earlier ones because this was before everyone had shaken out all the Zoom technology, and Zoom itself was shaking out its Zoom technology way in the far back. So there's a bit of sound challenge with this song. But the songwriter is wonderful, and he's a great keyboardist.
Take this proverb to thine heart, take and hold it fast. The mill cannot grind with water that has passed. Let me repeat that. Take this proverb to thine heart, take and hold it fast. The mill cannot grind with water that has passed. And from nature's chain, whatever link you strike, 10th or 10,000th, 10th or 10,000th, it breaks the chain alive. It breaks the chain alive. And the laws of nature are God's thoughts. And the laws of nature are God's thoughts. Thinking themselves out in the orbits and the tides. In the orbits and the tides. Yes, the laws of nature are God's thoughts. The laws of nature are God's thoughts. Thinking themselves out in the orbits and the tides.
rise in the orbits and the tide, and the sky is the daily bread of the eyes, and the sky is the daily bread for the eyes. Let me tell you something, people. He who knows what sweets and virtues are in the ground, in the waters, the plants, and in the heavens, and how to come to these enchantments. He is the rich and royal man. He is the rich and royal man. And he who knows what sweets and virtues are in the ground, and in the waters, and in the plants, and in the heavens, and how to come to these enchantments. He is a rich and royal man. He is a rich and royal man. He is a rich and royal man. Apologies to the ladies. You may be seated.
That was beautiful, Gene.
Thanks, man.
That was Gene Galligan. That was at the beginning of last season. We were still shaking out a lot of Zoom stuff, as was Zoom. The software was changing very rapidly at the beginning and first half of last year. So a great singer-songwriter and a extremely professional keyboard player who has made his living his entire life on the keyboards. Knows every style, has played in every kind of venue from the top to the bottom, and a great guy. Gene Galligan, make sure you look him up as well in the episode, as well as on genegalligan.com. So again, this is Songwriters Alive with Tom Cooney. We're on Rocking the Valley, Monday nights at 7 o'clock on Rocking the Valley. You can catch these episodes that's Rocking the Valley YouTube, Rocking the Valley YouTube. You can catch these episodes on my Tom Cooney YouTube page in the playlist for Songwriters Alive. All these great episodes are there. Lots of really good stuff here. We're just about going to be wrapping up in about, 6 or 7 minutes. We'll be looking next week at some of the other great artists we had in 2020 as well. Let's head out on this one. I need to play this song this week for a big reason. We've been talking about 2020, and 2020 was a year of dynamic things happening in this country. Most importantly, and very sadly, was the rapid spread of the coronavirus as it went unchecked, unfortunately, by those who could have done something about it. This song honors a hospital worker, and this is a hospital worker working in COVID during this time. And this song goes out to all people working in hospitals on the front lines who are putting themselves at risk for all of us, and to all other frontline workers, law enforcement of all kinds, EMTs, sanitation workers, grocery workers, people keeping small businesses open for us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Be safe, be well, be kind. If you're going out to those businesses, folks, mask up, social distance, respect these people. They are going to the front lines for you. Make sure you honor their effort and all the sacrifices they're going through. This is a song honoring a worker in a hospital that I wrote in April of 2020 called Make It Home Today. hospital shift ends, I shed my tears, shed my clothes. I leave my band of brothers and sisters on the front lines to carry the load. I trudge home to my family, and I kiss them through the glass of my back porch where I sleep. Well, I don't know how much more I can last till I hold their hands, hold their hearts. So I smile to let them know they are still loved, they have respect. But soon it's time for work, so I go. I ain't no hero, but I know there's a life I can save. This is my calling, so I go. I hope I make it home today. I hope I make it home today. We need more tests, we need to trace. My day-old mask won't protect my face. We need ventilators and leaders with heart. What a screwed up human race. Every patient is someone's love. There's someone's rock, someone's friend. I must be all those things to them if I'm the last one at the end. So I hold their hands, I hold their hearts. I smile to let them know they are still loved, they have respect. But if it's time, just let go. I ain't no hero, but I know there's a life I can save. This is my calling, so I go. I hope I make it home today. I ain't no hero, but I know there's a life I can save. It's my calling, so I go. I hope I make it home today. I hope I make it home today. Make It Home Today, a song I wrote in April of 2020. And all honors and propers to all frontline workers, especially all of you in hospital and clinical settings. Thank you so much for everything that you are doing. Please honor their effort, folks. Mask up, social distance up, sanitize and wash, and do all those nice, kind, smart things. Be a good thing to do. We'll continue this review and look back at 2020 and all the wonderful singer-songwriters we had on our show last year. We've got a whole bunch to go through next week. Wonderful songs, wonderful songwriters sharing some tips with you and sharing some insights with you about how they go about the craft and what they like to do. And again, this is Songwriters Alive with Tom Cooney. Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Rocking the Valley YouTube. You can catch it later on Rocking the Valley Tom Cooney YouTube. More coffee, I think. Tom Cooney YouTube in the Songwriters Alive playlist. Be safe, be well, be kind, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the week. Peace and goodness to you and yours. Breath of twilight caresses the air. The river mist hangs sweet and fair. The evening swallows, they whisper their tune, dancing on the moon. Why have the stars called us here?